Hello guys, my name is Lindo. Let's talk about how you fund your studies after grade 12. There are kind of many ways in which you can fund your studies. The first one is that you can be like self-funded, meaning that the money will be coming from your pocket or from your parents' pocket, and that can be a really not a good idea because the fees are really high, not just at vets alone because I'm studying at vets, but like all the institutions, the fees are really high. On average, every year you might have to spend like 150,000 each and every year. So yeah, that can be a really lot of money, and you don't want your parents to go through that way. Well, at some points you don't have a choice, but your parents have to fund you, especially if maybe you are in international students, because the most of the fundings here in South Africa, like sponsors and bursaries, they don't really cater the international student. So it's either they have to come with the sponsorship from their own country or the bursary from their own country, or their parents have to pay. Okay, that was the first one, that you can be self-funded. Another one is that you can take a student loan, but what I know is that most students loans, like as you're studying you have to pay them. It's not like you take the loan and then when you are working then you start paying for it. Most of them, they require that you let's say if you take 50,000, then every month you pay like this amount of money that you have to pay, and I really don't want you to drown in debts at this point. Yeah, I don't want you to take a student loan, so I'm pretty sure there are better ways. Or yeah, a student loan. Another way is that you can get a bursary. Yes, you can get a bursary. The bursaries, they are different. Some of them, they can be given to you because you are in financial need. Some of them, they can be given to you because of your academic performance, the merit bursary. Yes, like that. Most of them, they are merit. They are based on your academic performance. Today we'll be discussing those, and I'll be kind of stressing most on the aeronautical engineering because I am studying aeronautical engineering, and it is not a very well-known field, and most people who want to take the path of taking aeronautical engineering, they find it very hard to find the bursaries or the scholarships that fund the course or the field. So I'm going to talk about like 4 of them that I know very well that they do fund aeronautical engineering. They're just not the only ones that I know. There are a whole lot of more, like there are lots and lots of them, just that it can be very difficult to find them. And then times it is not really entirely difficult to find them. It is just that people don't really know much about the field aeronautical. So if you tell them that you can apply for a bursary, they'll be like, who will fund aeronautical engineering, something like that. There are fields that there are companies, there are trustees that do fund aeronautical engineering. Let's first talk about that. But I'm not only talking about aeronautical engineering. Most of these bursaries, they fund like almost every engineering course, and other fields, like just so many fields. I'm going to leave a link in which we can get all the bursaries that are available in the country, and some of them, they are open throughout the whole year. Some of them, they are closing very soon. Some of them, they will close like in 2 months to come, like that. So it is better that you apply as early as possible and you apply to as many bursaries as possible. Let's first talk about the first one, the first bursary that you can apply for. And before I talk about that, please make sure that you have the documents ready with you. The documents that you will need most of the time, it will be your certified ID copy, the copy of your parents or your guardian, your proof of res, like proof of residence, like you have to get that. It can be through a bank statement from your parents, or you can get it at your, what is it, your counselor from back at home. Yeah, like that. Yeah, there are so many things that can give you a proof of residence. Your academic performance, if you are currently in grade 12, they might require your grade 11 results, or your grade 11, your grade 12 June results. If you have completed matric but you are not at university this year, they will obviously require your grade 12 results. If you're a university student, they will require your, let's say if you're in first year this year, they will require your June results. And if you don't have your June results yet, they can require your grade 12 results. If you are in another year, they'll require your full academic record. And I can tell you that it can be very difficult to secure funding if you are already in university. Well, not because there are no opportunities, but because of the academic performance, there are kind of higher chances that, I'm not saying it's going to be tough, but there are kind of higher chances that your performance when you get to varsity will drop. Yeah, it might drop a little bit. And well, then if your academic performance kind of goes down a little bit, the companies might not really take you. So it's better to secure that funding whilst still having those distinctions in your metric. Okay, yeah. Let's get to the first one. The first one that I do know, and the very obvious one, it is the NSFAS. For now, NSFAS has not yet opened. It is still July. It will open around September. But I do know that NSFAS does fund aeronautical engineering and other many fields, okay? This year, I think I had some news that they are no longer funding teaching, I guess. Yeah, teaching and nursing, if I'm not mistaken, because the teaching has the bursary of Funza Lushaga, I think. But I do know that they haven't dropped aeronautical engineering. They do fund all the engineering fields, and they do fund aeronautical engineering. So if you are planning on applying for aeronautical engineering, do apply for NSFAS. Do apply for this. I do know that you have to be in a certain range, you have to fit in a certain level for you to qualify for NSFAS. Not everyone qualifies for NSFAS, but if you do qualify for NSFAS, do apply. Even if you're going to apply for private companies for other fundings, NSFAS, you must apply for it. You will thank me some other time, because you might secure the funding from maybe this private company, and then after a year or so your academic performance gets bad at university and the bursary kicks you out and you don't have any other funding. So NSFAS, that's when NSFAS comes into play. If you get accepted by the other bursary, do not cancel NSFAS. Do not cancel it. Just keep it. Don't cancel it. They might reverse the fees that you are having, but do not entirely cancel it, because you never know what the future looks like. So in case the bursary kicks you out, then you know that you have a backup plan as NSFAS that will continue to find you. Okay, NSFAS, to apply for NSFAS. When they apply with NSFAS, it's kind of pretty simple for you to apply. They will just need the university of your choice, the course that you want. There's going to be a consent form that you'll need to sign, fill, and I think you have to also take it to the Commission of Oaths, if I'm not mistaken, and your parent or your guardian, if you're under 18, also has to sign that. Your ID, you can also apply with your birth certificate. Yeah, if you don't yet have your ID, you can use the birth certificate, and then yeah, it's pretty easy to apply for NSFAS. And they're going to require the document, the certified copy, I think, of your parents or your guardian, and also they're going to require the proof of income. If you don't have proof of income, you're going to submit affidavit. Like, by mean, if you don't have proof of income, I'm talking about your parents, not you. Of course, you yourself are not working, you're a student, okay, still a minor. So your parents will have to make an affidavit for you that they are not working, and they will appreciate that NSFAS can find you. You can make affidavit at police station, at your nearest police station. Yes, fill in the ID numbers there, and then you're going to scan that. Every time when they are looking for a proof of income from your guardian or from your parent, if they are not working, then submit the affidavit, not just for NSFAS, for all these other ones, for all the other bursaries that I'm going to talk about, or any other bursary that you're going to apply for. If maybe your parents, they are receiving the SASA grant, social grant, going to take their slip. When they get paid, they do get a receipt, right? Take that slip and then scan it. Make a copy, go to the Commission of Oaths or police station, yes. Then they're going to stamp it to certify that this is the original document. This is the copy of the original document. You're going to scan it. That will be the proof of income. It's either the proof of income from their job, which the pay slip, or the receipt from SASA, or the affidavit. Okay, now let's talk about the second one. The second one will be the ISFAP. That one pretty much funds everything. It is pretty simple to apply for it. I am going to include the link in the description. You will see, like, everything that I'm going to talk about, you will see some of the information about it in the description box. So I do suggest that you click on the description box and check out some information. That one, it pretty much funds everything. You're going to submit your results, you're going to submit a consent form. Also, that consent form has to be signed. It has to be signed, or else it will be declared as invalid. It has to be signed by the commissioner of oath. Don't just sign it yourself. It needs a stamp from the police station or the nearest commissioner of oath. You have to sign it, or else it will be declared as invalid, and by so doing, you're not going to get any funding. Okay, yes, it does fund aeronautical engineering also. So if if you are planning on studying aeronautical engineering, you can apply for this one. But if you are already a university student, they're not gonna find you. It is for 2022 first year students. If it's going to be your first time doing first year and this is going to be your first degree, that is when you can apply for the funding that I just talked about. If you're already in university, unfortunately, you do not qualify. It is for those ones. Also, dear grade 12s and dear grade 11s, please make sure that when you apply, you do look out for it. I think the closing date is on the 31st of August. Please make sure. I was so happy the other day when I was doing an application for somebody, and on the 30th of June, the vet health science field, the applications, they did close. Then on the 1st of July in the morning, someone from Kenya, yeah, is it Kenya? Yeah, I think it's Kenya. Someone from Kenya wanted me to help them to apply for something in health sciences, and they've just closed just few hours back. I'm like, I am so sorry, but vets have closed in the health science. So what I'm trying to say is that do apply as early as possible. Yeah, do not wait until the last minute. I did talk about the documents that you will require. So in this case, for the ISFAP funding, you're going to need your grade 11 results or your grade 12 mid-year results, since it is for first year. When you'll be doing your 2022 first year, you don't yet have the metric results. If you're having the metric results already, but this year you're not doing anything, maybe you're taking a gap year, you're trying to figure out on what you should do with your life, to apply, yes, in that case you will have to submit your grade 12 results. But the university students already, unfortunately, do not apply. But do not despair, there's still many other opportunities that you can apply for. Now let's talk about the second one that I do know that funds aeronautical engineering. Remember the previous one that I talked about, I did say that it pretty much funds everything, but you have to be doing your first year in 2022. It should be your first degree doing first year in 2022. Okay, the next one that I'm going to talk about, it is CSIR. CSIR does not only fund first years. Even if you're a university student already, they do fund you. Obviously, these bursaries, they require you to maintain a certain level of academic performance. Most of the time, if you are doing grade 12 or in your grade 12 results, you should get an average of like 70% or more. But if you are in university, they cannot require an average of 60 to 65%. Well, because university is nip up and flexible. So yeah, and they do understand. Yeah, but yeah, CSIR, we are going to, it's the process of application is also pretty much easy. They're going to require your certified copy of ID. And please, every time you're submitting any document, make sure that the stamp that they read on that document, it is not 3 months or older. It is not more than 3 months old. Okay, yeah, just make sure that you keep on updating your documents every time. You keep on updating them so that they can be valid. There are some questions where they're going to ask you as to your achievements, extracurricular work, your strengths, your weakness. I kind of hate it when I have to do that in any application, like your participation in sports. You just have to write that, okay? But the application process is pretty much easier. They're going to also, I think, require your CV. And then if you are in university already, your proof of registration, they will need it. Your full academic record, they will require it. Proof of residence from back at home, proof of income from back from your parents, like that. Those motivational quotes, motivational letters. So be ready to type a little bit about yourself, your strength, your weakness, what you like, what you don't like, your leadership roles, and those kind of questions they're going to ask you. And please don't skip them. Well, in fact, if you skip them, you won't be able to submit the application because they are marked with asterisk, meaning that if you did not fill the space, your application won't go through. So you have to fill them up, and don't just write one sentence. Please don't do that. You're not going to take your serious. Try to be, try to widen up, try to get into depth as long as you have the space and then yeah, remaining characters to use the opportunity. And then another one that we can talk about is SANRAL. SANRAL does fund like all the engineering field. SANRAL is more of transportation, so aeronautical is based on aircrafts, so traveling, so it's part of it. So railway, building of railways and stuff, I think it is it civil engineers who work on railways, also mechanical engineer. So you can tell that it's all the almost all these engineering fields, they can fit in that. Even computer scientists ones, I think they do fit. SANRAL, you can apply for it. It is kind of pretty much easy to apply for it also. What I know with SANRAL is that you do not really apply online. You are going to take the documents that they require, your June results, motivational letter from the principal, motivational letter from your parents, and everything else. You'll see in the description box, I'll include the like as to what they require. You're going to send it to a particular email. I'm going to include the email in the description box, and also maybe try to fit it somewhere in the screen if possible. Yeah, you're going to send your documents there, and there's going to be a specific title that you have to write on the heading of your email. I think the title is SANRAL Bursary dash your full name, like SANRAL Bursary Lindom Twin, like that. That is SANRAL. Yes, you're going to send all the documents, like all the necessary documents that they require, which you are going to see on their website, and also in my description box you will see it as to what they require, what they want you to submit, all the documents that you submit. Please make sure that they are visible. Like if you're going to the motivational letters, if possible, try to type it with a computer. I do know that maybe if you don't have access to computer, or you might opt to maybe handwriting the letter, especially if maybe your parent is the one doing it. Make sure that the handwriting is visible, and when you scan it, you can read all the words. Make sure that everything is just like in a proper way, and someone who's going to read it will be able to read the handwriting and will be able to see clearly what you are writing. Yes, it does fund aeronautical engineering and all other many fields, not all of them, but many fields it does fund them. And be aware that not all bursaries, they're having the same requirements. Some of them, they require you to have certain age. Some of them, they require you to come from a particular background. Most of the time they prioritize students who are doing well academically and they are from previously disadvantaged communities. Like if you are from the villages and you're doing well, they kind of prioritize you. I'm not discouraging those people who are not from previously disadvantaged areas not to apply. Do apply, please do apply, because they are, well, you never know, you just never know. If your academic performance impresses them, they might also take you regardless of your lavish background. Okay, now let's talk about the last one. It is not the last bursary opportunity you can apply for, just the last one that I want to talk about. There are just so many other ones. The one that I think I just saw it this morning, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, but then it is it's XHUMA. I think it's Shuma. I'll call it Shuma. I don't think Shuma on its own, when I was going through the application process just to check what they require, I don't think it is the bursary on itself. I think it's just the site that you can use to apply for different bursaries all at once. So you're going to register them. It's pretty easy to apply. I also did apply myself because I was just wanting to see on how the system works. They just ask you some generic questions, your personal details. They ask you to upload your metric results, your ID copy. If you're a university student, they also want a full academic record, and then they also want a proof of payment for the guardian or your parent like I did talk about when I was talking about NSFAS, that you can apply the affidavit if your parents are not working, or you can apply the SASA slip, or you can apply the proof of payment if they have it. You can upload that. I mean, you can upload that. And then another thing that they asked for was the proof of residence. So that one you can get from bank statement. There are many ways in which you can get a proof of residence. You can do that. So when you apply, they're going to ask you some few questions about your leadership, the roles that you play in the community, your sports engagement, those kind of things. And then they're going to make you to choose 2 courses that you prefer to study, or that you want to study. If you're in grade 12, you can choose that maybe aeronautical engineering. Aeronautical engineering, it is there. And also aeronautical engineering, maybe there's also mathematics. Maybe you want to study aeronautical engineering or mathematics, you're going to choose that. And then they're going to make you to choose like 2 sponsors that are kind of suitable for you. They're going to break it down for you. Like if you are choosing engineering fields, they won't just show you bursaries that are related to law. No, they're not gonna do that. If you choose engineering, and also there's somewhere where you're going to upload your marks. So if your marks and the courses that you choose, they are maybe related to engineering in the STEM field, then they'll show you sponsors that are sponsoring the courses that you chose. Then you're going to select 2 of them, and then you send your application. And they say that if maybe you are not successful with the 2 that you applied for, they're going to take your details and send it to the other relevant sponsors that can also fund your course. Okay, if maybe for example, if I chose NSFAS won't be there, because NSFAS is kind of more generic one. If I choose NSFAS and maybe something else, and then if I don't make it in NSFAS and the other one, then they're going to take my details and send it to another kind of trustee or other bursary or sponsorship that is relevant for the field that I'm studying, and that I kind of do qualify for or meet their minimum requirements, which it is pretty easy. I do encourage you to do apply. And for those who are doing aeronautical, please don't be lazy to search for bursaries. I know that at times you can get so disappointed that every time when you're finding a bursary, it is saying mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, mechatronics, civil engineering, electrical engineering. Those are always there. Those ones are always there. I can tell you, mechanical engineering and electrical, chemical, they are always there. Those ones are having like most of the fundings. And no matter what I do, even if you see that this is mechanical engineering, just do apply. Okay, do apply. Trust me, do apply. You never know. If they say engineering, do apply. Like, it means that they are taking all engineering fields. I'm not saying if they're saying mechanical engineering, I'm saying when they're saying they're going to fund the engineering courses, it means all the courses that fall under engineering, they do fund them. They're going to pay for them. And also do read as to what they are going to cover. Some they cover accommodation, they cover tuition they won't leave it, also the registration fee, and meals. Some bursaries don't cover meals. Some others, they will give you allowance. Some don't give you allowance. Others, they give you a traveling allowance, which some of them, they don't give you traveling allowance. So yeah, just to read, just to check. But the main aim is that please do apply for a bursary. And some of the bursaries, their amount, it's based on how much you owe the university. If your fees are 150,000, they will pay that 150,000. If they are 120,000, they will pay that 120,000. Some of them, they are kept to a certain amount. If they say that we can only pay 100,000, if your fees are like 150,000, it means they will pay 100,000, and the 50,000 you'll have to make other means to pay for it. Like if you're having NSFAS can top it, or you can take a student loan to top it, or you can tell your parents to pay for it, like that. Okay, I'm encouraging you to apply to as many bursaries as possible. Don't be like, I want to be funded by CSIR, I don't want anything else. What if CSIR doesn't approve your application? What are you gonna do? Okay, so please to apply to as many as possible, because you are not going to pay anything to apply. You're just going to have to sit, have all the documents ready, answer the questions, submit, email the documents that they want, make sure that the information that you're putting in there, it's correct, your contact details especially, make sure that everything is correct. Apply to as many as, but if you can apply to even 50, it's okay. Just apply. And then when time comes for them to respond, they might send you like, we regret to inform you, but there are chances that some of it might come with like some good news, and you might find yourself having to pick which bursary to take, which one to take. Then you're going to compare the benefits and stuff, then you choose that particular one. If you're studying aeronautical engineering, please do apply for bursaries also. Don't be like, oh, aeronautical engineering, I know people have that tendency that like, who will find aeronautical engineering? It's not a well-known field, so but I do suggest that you do check. And the last thing that is very important, I did say that there are so many bursaries in the country. Yeah, there are so many, I'm not gonna lie to you, there are so many bursaries in the country, and we just need to use that opportunity. And I think we're very blessed, because some of the African countries, they do not have such privilege. So in our country, if we still have the privilege of having people to fund our studies, companies to fund our studies, let's do apply for them. I am going to include the link, 2 links in the description, whereby you can click on the link, and you're going to see all the bursaries that are available, even their closing dates, their requirements. You can read everything about each particular bursary. Okay, that one, I think it is zabursaries.co.za, and another one, it is a Puff and Pass, where you can also sign up for their newsletters, meaning that every time when there's the bursary that has been uploaded or that is now active, they are going to send you an email and let you know that this bursary is now available, the closing date. Then you can apply if you want to apply, but don't just sit there like, no, boring. But do apply as early as possible, as early as yesterday, to apply. And I wish you all the best with your applications. Yeah, check everything, like you, in terms of the requirements. Somebody might ask me like, Linda, what if I don't meet the requirements? Just apply. What if they want an average of 65%? I've got 64. Just apply. You just apply, because you're not applying for that one only, right? And you're not taking your all hope and your all prayers to that specific one. You're going to apply to many of them, and then if that one doesn't take you, another one might take you, right? Yes, do apply, even if you don't meet the requirements. But then some of the requirements, okay, some of them, they're just obvious. If you're getting level 1, level 2, it's just kind of obvious that they will reject you. But then if you are like kind of close to the requirements, you can apply. I'm not saying if you are way below the requirements to apply, but at some points miracles just don't really help. But when you are kind of close, they might feel pity for you and take you. Okay, yes. I wish you all the best with your applications, and apply as early as possible. And from me, goodbye.